Welcome. Today I will be summarizing and sharing the October 10th Al-Anon readings for Courage to Change and a little time for myself. We'll begin with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. First, I will summarize a little time for myself, but first I have to read it. I'll take a moment and read it to myself. This reading is about carrying the Al-Anon message. It's about service. It's about practicing the principles in all our affairs. And the question of the day is, in what ways do I carry the message today? So for me, it's this video. It's also telling people when I find out that they are suffering with someone else's substance abuse, to tell them about my experience in Al-Anon and to make sure that they understand that there's no pressure, but that the reason why I'm telling them is that I didn't know about it until someone told me. So that recently just happened at the thrift shop where I volunteer. Someone came in, someone who I love talking to, who comes in regularly, told me that their loved one is an alcoholic and that this person and their spouse are both suffering a great deal. And so I just said, just so you know, you don't have to go through it alone. I'm here if you want to find out more. No pressure. And I think the other way that I carry the message is just through my actions, the way I communicate with people, the way I interact with people. The way I look at things, the way I guess the way I interact with people, also the way I interact with my environment. I think we are a group of attraction rather than promotion. So when people see how serene and calm and happy I am, they might listen when I say that Al-Anon has a big part in that. So, in what ways do you carry the message today? That's a little time for myself. Now we'll move on to Courage to Change, October 10th. I'll take a moment to read. Quote from One Day at a Time. In Al-Anon, if a crisis arises or any problem baffles me, I hold it up to the light of the Serenity Prayer and extract its sting before it can hurt me. This passage is about changing the things that I can, accepting what I can't change, taking responsibility for things that are in my control, and admitting my powerlessness and turning things over to my higher power. And this is all very good reminders. The example they give is of being a child and thinking that if they, being in the back seat of a car as a child and holding very tightly to the side of the car, to the handle in the back seat, thinking that if they held on really, really tight, the car wouldn't crash. And they're likening that to the attempt sometimes with adult fears and persisting in futile actions. So, like, it really didn't help the child. I mean, it may have made them feel safe, but it wasn't really making them safer. Interesting. And I think one of the few things that is in my control is to be thoughtful in my attitudes, to take care of my mind, body, and spirit, to make amends. It was interesting. I was at the thrift shop and someone I was talking with said, I have 3 doctor's appointments coming up. And they said it's going to be a beep week. Like they just were not happy with the week. And I'm not going to swear, but they said it's just going to be a horrible week. And I said, and that's because I really love this person and I know I can say this to them. I said, or it's going to be such a grateful week because aren't you blessed that you have access to the medical care that you require? And she stopped what she was doing and she said, you know, I think I'm going to try to look at it that way. And I think it made both of us feel better because it's easy for me to sometimes just agree with somebody to kind of give them the validation. But then at the same time, when I see an opportunity to bring light and love and gratitude to it, and I know that the person isn't going to slap me, like I knew this person wouldn't slap me, so I did it, and it was just a much more serene way to look at the situation. So that's courage to change. We'll close out with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you so much love. Take care.